Some might be wondering what's going on today on New Year's Eve 2025. And yes, this video for wrapping up 2025 is in fact starting underneath the 3500. What you're looking at there is the Flowmaster Flow Effects muffler, which is a part of exhaust kit 717930. Yes, I bought a whole new exhaust kit for this truck finally because I couldn't keep repairing the other exhaust anymore. I do want to say I was actually very happy with what I had before. I had the 2-chambered Super 40 with the standalone resonator, but the section you're seeing here, right where the axle, right where the pipe bends over the axle, that's where it rusted. And because it was a bend, they were going to have to fabricate a whole new piece. It was going to be the other side of $600, plus the rest of the piping that kept rusting. And plus the fact that over the past 4 years, constantly patching that old exhaust, I had to spend close to $1,000 over the last 4 years constantly fixing it. But it finally broke at the worst point. It finally totaled the system, and I was just forced to get a whole new kit. And as we arrive at the end of the Flowmaster 717930 exhaust kit, yes, it's a single exhaust like I had before. Wanted to keep it simple, just wanted to use my factory hangers. The other thing to note is that the heavy duty Rams, they were not designed from the factory to have a dual exhaust. So that's why, and that other kit was going to be even more expensive. So that's why I just went with this, kept it simple. This doesn't have a standalone resonator, unfortunately. So the drone can be a bit unbearable at times. The Flow Effects is pretty much categorized with the 3-chamber mufflers. It would be an aggressive 3-chamber, but there's nothing like having a 50 series even HD. But the only kit that offered the 50 series HD was the dual exhaust. And I advise against getting the dual exhaust of the heavy duty Rams because you're routing the pipe underneath things that weren't meant to have an exhaust pipe underneath it. Could pose potential problems. The 1500s that have the dual outlets, their wiring system is routed differently, and the other components are arranged differently. In fact, the whole chassis on a 1500 is just different. Just note that, and with a big single 3.5 inch, that's all you need. The engine will breathe just fine. So this is what I went with. I'm just waiting for the holidays to pass, but as soon as the new year comes, I'm going to look at a couple of muffler shops and see if they can add a resonator, and then I can't see this being a problem anymore. This was just a smarter thing to do. You know, everything is one brand, one material now. So hopefully I shouldn't have any debacles for a while and fry the bigger fish that need to be fried with this truck. And the final thing for the 3500 to finish that off, the center caps. Didn't get the soda blaster. I wanted to get this here, the sand blaster, which can take soda medium for reasons I won't discuss here. But I did find another trick that was just stupid enough to work. I put 4 center caps in the 5-gallon bucket, filled it with brake fluid, left it in there for a week, just completely stripped it down to bare plastic. Used some etching primer and some sealing primer, and what I did was I made my own paint because I have a spray gun. I say mixed my own paint. I should say I didn't make the paint. So I lightened the 7786 gloss smoke gray with a little 7792 gloss white. I think I did like a 3 parts gray to 1 part white. I mean, it's not an exact match, but it's really damn close, and even really up close you will barely notice it. My buddies were impressed, so got that done. Now they're a bit better looking, and because I used an actual spray gun and not trust Rust-Oleum spray paint this time, actually came out right the first time. Did several light coats with a spray gun, and it came out fantastic. So yes, the 3500 has some good looking snowshoes if you ask me. And to finish up in this cold garage, before we get into a nice warm room, here it is. Here's my old chair. Yep, it finally buckled like the establishment GOP. Still had it for 15 years, but it was its time finally. Well, I won't make any promises just yet. Probably a good video for next year if I do it. Yeah, there's some 2-stroke gasoline that also needs to be disposed of. And that is probably the best way to send out a chair that's been farted up for 15 years. And as we go into my nice, warm, comfy room here is my new chair. It is from Staples. It's an Emerge Vortex bonded leather ergonomic gaming chair. It was also on sale, and it was already built as well. So no assembly, no throwing out packaging, nope. I was able to throw it right into the back of the 3500 and go right home with it. Now, it comes in a few other color schemes, so I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to have one of your very own. But yeah, my lower back was happy with this new chair already. Yeah, this was a long time coming. Very happy with it. Glad I finally pulled that trigger. And, well, you know, it's a chair. Not much else to really say here, but yeah, I like it. It's good looking, and hopefully I have this for many years as well. We have a significance for this year. This is the year that I finally and completely retired my Nikon Coolpix L830 of over 10 years. Here it is. Yep. Cleaned it up real nicely. I keep it in its case in my cabinet. But yeah, it's been finally retired because I have finally discovered how to do timestamps in my smartphone. This picture you're seeing here, this was the final pic I took. It's my 3500 at Florey's Fish Kill. You can see the timestamp there. June 29, 2025 at 11:36 a.m. And little did I know that I had shot my last photo with this camera. It was actually very rapid how I discovered having a timestamp in your photos for your smartphone, specifically the Samsung Galaxy A53 that I have. I can't seem to find the video where I made this discovery on the timestamp in your phone, so I'm just going to use mine here. So you open your camera. This is my stock Android phone, and there are apps, by the way, camera apps that can allow you to have timestamps. So now I'm about to take a picture, hit these for this thing here, whatever the hell this thing is. This opens the settings, hit that gear right there, and then as you scroll up, you have your watermark right here. You see, this is quite cool. Like, you could make a custom text if you want above the timestamp if that's what you wish to do. So then just as an example, in someplace whenever, but you can make it whatever you want to be. Actually, it'll just default to the model name if you don't put anything here, or you can just shut off the model name. You can shut off the date all the time and choose what font you have. And the other cool thing too is the alignment. You can make it go in the center, the left if you wish to do so, just like so over here. Again, I'm just trying to catch everything here, but I just default to the right. Now, I can't change the color of the text, but I'm sure more advanced ones you can. You can also decide whether this goes in the top or the bottom. So, real cool to do. That's very useful to me. I don't have to carry around an extra camera anymore. And remember, I bought this phone in 2022, June of 2022. So, if I knew of this then, and this does take better pictures than my Nikon, I would have retired it then, but because the timestamps were so imperative to me, that's why I kept using that camera till I discovered that video that showed me this, not shortly after I snapped that pic. So, there's that, and now I'll actually show you a couple of photos where you can see that timestamp, where I actually have what is on top of the timestamp. Well, that's pretty much all I have in terms of wrapping up 2025. No, 2025 was not exactly everything I hoped it would be, but I've lived long enough now to know that sometimes things not always going the way you want it to can actually sometimes be a good thing, because it just means that maybe something far better than you ever expected will come about. One example of this was that this year we modded a job site we weren't expecting to. Without disclosing too much, and I'm going to make a long and complicated story short here, this particular job site was the farthest away from us and in the worst shape, and it was not even scheduled to be done this year. Again, situations that be, the client at the last second decided that we should do it first. Now it's done and over with. This job was noted for being the busiest and most heavily used of the bunch, and yet we worked our magic, and that job is running as smoothly and as reliably as can be. So, this just leaves us with the assurance that whatever we did is going to certainly exceed the expectations of the other job sites that we've yet to do. As I've pointed out in the past, I'm not going to disclose what's going on in my family and my life, as nobody needs to know. With everything in mind here, No, I am not as bent out of shape about this year as one would expect me to be. I'm neither pessimistic about this year nor am I optimistic about next year. Not that it's a word, but I'm just simply whelmed. Neither under or over. I really am just afraid of being foolishly optimistic. Yeah, 2025 was an interesting year for sure. What will 2026 bring? Who knows? I guess we're just going to have to find out. So, all that in mind, just thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. Have a happy new year. Be safe out there, and don't be a stranger.